Hi, I'm Clay Roden, founder of Longshot Cameras, and I want to tell you about the measurements feature in the Longshot app. Once you're in the camera feed, you can access this feature from the menu in the top right-hand corner. Then you'll see what looks like a ruler as the second icon down in the list there. So tap on that, and this brings up the measurements menu. To turn measurements on, just simply tap the on button and hit the X. Now you'll be prompted to set a reference point. The reference points are used so that the app knows the scale of the image that it's looking at. So in this case, we've got our blue warehouse bins here that we're looking at. We'll just zoom in on those, tap the corners of them. If you were at the range, you could tap the corners of your target. You can zoom in really tight on them. If you've placed them in the wrong location, you can still use the undo button and then tap right on the corner. Then we can move over to the other side and tap on that corner. And then the app is going to prompt you to set your point of aim. In this case, we'll just use our inventory label right here. And we'll tell the app that those containers are 18 inches wide. And that we're shooting the target at 100 yards away, and hit start. Now for the reference points, I would suggest marking the corners of your target and knowing the width or height of your target to use that to set the reference points. If you've got a target with grid lines on it and you know the dimensions of that, or the dimensions of each circle in the target, then you can use that as well. Now that we've got that, we've got a card at the bottom, which is displaying the statistics of our current group. And at the top, we're also displaying the group statistics for the active group. So right now, we don't have any shot markers. Our extreme spread is 0.00 inches, and it's 0 MOA. Our zero adjustment is also there as well. But as you start to tap to mark your shots, it's going to be calculating the group size. Right now, we've got a spread of 36.5 inches. All right, so after you've got that set up, you can start marking your shots as you're shooting. As you mark, it's going to actively calculate the extreme spread of the group and the adjustment to 0. You'll also be able to see the group statistics in the card at the bottom. You can tap on that card to expand it, or tap it again to shrink it. As you mark shots, again, that group size is constantly going to be updating, and the 0 adjustment will also be updating. Now, if you are using an MOA or mil scope, you can set the output of that 0 adjustment accordingly. Just go back into that menu and then choose mil or MOA, and the output will be changed to that. You can also display that output in inches or centimeters as well if you'd like. You can do the same outputs and options for the group width and height as well, and the group size and extreme spread. You can also turn those outputs on and off in that menu. So if you want to see the adjustment to 0 in the card at the bottom, simply turn the output for adjustment to 0 on, and that'll be displayed there. And then if you want to see the averaged center of your group, you can tap on the 0 adjustment button at the top of the screen. And as you tap, it's going to recalculate the center of your group, and that's what it's using to calculate the adjustment to 0. To start a new group, simply go down to the shot marker menu and choose a new color. Once you have a new color, you can start marking, and the app will start calculating all those same statistics and adjustment to 0 for the new group. A new card will also be added at the bottom of the screen with the group statistics for group 2 now. So you've got the stats for group 1 and group 2, and these will just continue to be added as you add groups to the target. Now, You can tap and hold these cards at the bottom and pull them out next to each group if you want to. That way you can actually see the shots and the statistics of the group right next to it. Then if you take a snapshot or record video, these will also be saved in those recordings and pictures. Now, if you're doing load development or you want to record any specific information related to that group, you can double tap on the card and a new menu pops up to either add notes or hide the group. In this case, we'll just click add notes. You know, you could put what range you're at, what distance you're shooting at, the specifics of a load that you're testing, environmental information, whatever you want, and it'll be saved to that card and displayed when it's expanded or when it's brought out next to the group. So we'll go ahead and save this, and then once we return to that card, just tap on the card, it'll bring you out of that sub menu and back to the group statistics, and then you'll see the notes that you just entered there. If you want to drag those groups, the group cards back down so they're not on the screen anymore, just drag them down to the bottom and they'll redock themselves if you hold them at the bottom for just a second. If you want to condense the card while it's out on the screen, just tap the top of the card and it'll shrink and condense down. And again, to redock this card, we'll just grab it and hold it at the bottom. And then you can tap the cards and minimize them at the bottom as well. And that wraps up how to use the measurements feature in the Longshot app.